Good night, here one time. Tonight got this good and got this good all the time. My name is Sammy J. Spirits. If I'm here to give you a word on tonight. Now, earlier I just talked to you about this Samaritan woman that Jesus had met at the well. Now, she had lack of knowledge, but it was amazing, to her that she got saved right there at that well, you know. And she heard everything Jesus was saying, but she didn't know who he was, and he asked her for water, and she had to give him a whole background of why he asking her for water. So, but now she have a testimony. She have a testimony. When she went back home, she had a testimony to tell everyone, what happened, because a lot happened at a short period of time while she was at that well. You know, she Jesus taught her about the living water. He had revealed to her her private life. You know, so a lot of stuff happened in a short period of time, but it was powerful. You know, so we see it in John chapter 4, but we had 39 to 42 verse. Now, this is a Samaritan woman. She was at the well. She met Jesus, who needed water. He was thirsty. He needed water from walking for 6 hours. So instead of giving him water, she noticed he was a Jew. Now, she noticed he was a Jew, but she didn't know who he was. She didn't know that was Jesus. You know, um, so instead of giving him water, she noticed he was a Jew, and they don't associate. Jews hate Samaritans hate Jews, and she also is mixed with both of them. So then Jesus had knew everything about her private life, and all she knew that Messiah was coming. All she knew he was coming, but she didn't realize he was standing right in front of her. You know, to explain everything to them, but what she didn't know that he, who she was talking about, and taking a long time to get somebody some water, the Christ, the Messiah. Jesus stated that he will give her living water. Now she's taking a long time to give him water. Now he said the table turn. If you need some water, I will give you some living water. That you will not be ghost thirsty no more. It will not run dry. So she had went home, and she had told everyone in her neighborhood, in her town, that she met Jesus at the well. Now this Samaritan woman had a testimony, to tell many Samaritans, to believe, and they believe, but they still wanted to see for themselves. So many of the Samaritans, from her town believed in him, because of the woman's testimony. That he told me everything I ever did. So Jesus told her everything, all her private life, everything that she did. So that was a testimony that she went home and told everyone else. Now this person knew everything about me. Everything about me. So Samaritan woman immediately had shared her experience with others. Despite that she had 5 husbands. But many had took her up on her invitation and came out to meet Jesus. Because a lot of time they weren't even used to talk to her because she had multiple wives. A lot of times they didn't even want to talk to her. But this time, everyone came close to her to see what she was talking about. And they all met her, and they went and met Jesus. They went over there. Jesus was still there. He was on his way out, but he was still there when they got there to meet him. So when the Samaritan had came to him, they urged him to stay, with them, and he stayed for 2 days. He stayed for 2 days. And Samaria had made their way to Jesus because of the testimony of the woman at the well. Now see how a word can travel so fast. And that's what we're supposed to do. When you talk to someone about that word, and they sit there to listen, they getting it. It's powerful that they leave from you and they go and pass that on. And that was they were supposed to do. That was just amazing. She received it and she passed it on. So Samaria had made their way to Jesus because of the testimony of the woman at the well. Now they urged him to stay with him, but they heard her testimony, but they wanted to get to know Jesus for themselves. So and because of his word, many Samaritans had become to be believers, all because of her testimony. They wanted to go see Jesus. And at one time they ain't you wanted to talk to her, have no conversation with her, but this time they did. So when he was coming to the city, and he had preached to the inhabited and generals, a lawyer, a multitude, then before believers in him. So as the Messiah in a profession, and they all confessed, confessed to him and became followers of him. So they went and heard that word. They went and checked Jesus out. They said everything this woman talk about, is for real. We saw it for ourselves. We saw it for ourselves, and we believe. So there will become followers of Jesus at that moment. So we see that Jesus has spoke that word, and they listened, and they believed, and they became followers of him, and they received that living water. And remember, he was talking about that living water to the Samaritan woman. He said, if you get this living water, you're gonna wanna thirst to God. And see, that's what they did. They wanted to get saved because they wanted a little more. They wanted no more. They was thirsty for it. So they had said to the woman, we no longer believe just because of what you say. They said, we don't believe just because of what you say. Now we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this man really is the Savior of the world. And see, a lot of time you can hear stuff, but it'd be best that some people just go and see and hear for yourself. They saw and they heard for themselves. They said, we know he's the Savior of the world. And despite, his knowledge of who she is, Jesus still offered her living water. Jesus seek her heart. Remember, he was standing there talking to her, and he was seeking her heart, and that's how he knew she had 5 husbands. They found out for themselves that he is the Savior of the world. Now she got saved, and she was willing to bring others to Christ. It started a revival in a town. First they had the little meeting out in the town. They all around her trying to listen to what she was saying. Most people in her town would have cast her aside, but they listened, to her testimony, and they got saved. Now we see that Jesus' spiritual water to this Samaritan woman did not go to waste. It did not go to waste. Now she done went home, and she had other people, believing in her, believing in Jesus, and they got saved. Now this story was not just about the Samaritan woman. It was about trusting and believing that Jesus is our Savior. Now this when the living water came in place. When they received it, they was thirsty for God. And we see what happened. They received this living water, and they wanted to know more, and they got saved. So this Jesus' job to bring many people as possible to God. And see, that's what he was explaining to her about that living water. Once you get this living water, you're gonna be thirsty for God. And that's why I try to tell everyone, read that Bible. Don't just read it, study it. Believe, study the words, study the stories, and that's how you'll get to go. And so, see, Jesus was preaching that word to her and to all of them, and so they want to know more, and that's how it is. When you constantly start studying that Bible, you're going to want to know more. You're going to be so thirsty, to know more about that Bible, learn more about those stories. So they want to know more. They want to know more. And remember she had like a knowledge. She thought he was talking about drinking water. So now she see this kind of living water, you're gonna want more. You're gonna want more. You're not gonna be thirsty for water, keep filling up the glass. You're gonna be thirsty, just trying to get close to God and want to know more and more about that word. And so just like Jesus said, this living water has not went to waste. We see she took off and went to her town and told her testimony and had so many people came to Jesus and got saved. So we see that she met Jesus at that well. At a short period of time, it was something shifted. It was just something powerful. Something powerful in the something can be powerful in a short period of time. Sometimes you don't need no long service. Sometimes you can have a short serving and be so powerful where people still get it. She didn't get it at first, but at time before she left, she got it because she went home and she received it. She received it and passed it on, when she got home. And so Jesus, this story pretty much wasn't just about the Samaritan woman. It was about Jesus still doing his job. And Jesus was just passing through. He was just passing through. So no matter what we at, we could be on the job, but we could just be passing through like Jesus. Our job don't never end. No matter what we traveling at, no matter what we at, the job still go on. Jesus was just passing through. And he still had to stop and heal someone. He had to give somebody some spiritual water. He noticed that she needed a spiritual water. Because and she was just amazed. She was just amazed, looking like, okay, everything. So where she changed the subject and started talking about her ancestors. But she walked off. No matter how she felt like how she felt when Jesus had identified everything that she was doing. She still took it in and she went home and she passed it on. And they were so amazed of her testimony. So they wanted to go see further. Come on, he's still over there. Let's go over there and see what she's talking about. We believe you, but we want to see and hear for ourselves. And that's how you be sometimes. Somebody can tell you something, you can believe it, but sometimes you want to see for yourself. Sometimes you can't believe on what you hear. You got to go check it out for yourself. And they check it out for themselves and they all got saved. They all got saved. And so this the woman, this the story of the Samaritan woman. She had lack of knowledge when she was at that well. He talking about the living water. She talking about drinking water. She talking about the crisis coming. And all the while, he in the came, standing up there right in front of her. But at the end of the day, she got it and went home. And she had got so many people saved. Because she learned what Jesus was teaching her at that well. Like I said, it was a lesson, a short lesson, but it was very powerful. So that's all I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed night, and I'll see y'all in the next video.